Hey there, car enthusiasts. America has produced some of the most iconic cars in history, but some of them have remained elusive, hidden away in garages or museums, only seen by the lucky few. Today we're diving into 15 of the rarest American cars of all time, vehicles that are so unique or limited in production, you've probably never seen them on the road. Let's take a ride through history. Watch the video to the end. The 1934 Duesenberg Model J stands as a pinnacle of American automotive luxury, a vehicle that captured the opulence and extravagance of the pre-Depression era. Introduced in 1928, the Model J was a product of Duesenberg's ambition to create the most advanced, luxurious, and powerful car in the world, and it succeeded in doing so. By 1934, the Model J had already established itself as an icon, an automobile not just for transportation, but as a statement of ultimate wealth and prestige. Its price tag was astronomical for the time, and only the elite, Hollywood stars, industrial magnates, and royalty could afford such a masterpiece. What made the 1934 Duesenberg Model J so remarkable wasn't just its rarity, though only 481 units were ever built, but its highly customizable nature. Each car was tailored to the specific desires of its owner, from its exterior design to its luxurious interiors. These vehicles were essentially rolling works of art, each one a unique creation that could reflect the tastes and social standing of the person behind the wheel. The owners were treated to custom coachwork from renowned companies like Murphy, LeBaron, and Bowman & Schwartz, resulting in cars that were as much about personal expression as they were about performance. Performance, however, was where the Duesenberg Model J truly separated itself from the rest. Under the hood was a massive 6.9-liter inline 8-cylinder engine, which produced an impressive 265 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful cars of its time. For context, most cars during that era struggled to push beyond 100 horsepower. The Model J could reach top speeds of up to 119 miles per hour, a remarkable feat in the 1930s when road infrastructure was still developing. It wasn't just a luxury car, it was also a performance beast, combining both form and function in a way that few cars of any era have managed to achieve. The Duesenberg Model J's legacy is deeply intertwined with its striking design. Long, sleek, and powerful, the car exuded a presence that was impossible to ignore. Its iconic sweeping lines, oversized fenders, and signature Duesenberg grille gave it an unmistakable silhouette, while the interior was often draped in the finest leathers, woods, and custom finishes. The dashboard of the Model J was designed with the same precision and attention to detail as the exterior, featuring a range of advanced gauges and controls that were cutting-edge for the time. The result was an experience that transcended driving. Owning and operating a Duesenberg Model J was a symbol of affluence, power, and taste. At a time when the world was grappling with the economic downturn of the Great Depression, the Duesenberg Model J served as a stark contrast, a beacon of wealth and excess. It wasn't just a car, it was a status symbol. Hollywood stars like Clark Gable, Gary Cooper, and Mae West were known for driving Duesenbergs, further cementing its place in popular culture as the ultimate luxury automobile. For these celebrities, a Duesenberg was more than just a mode of transportation. It was an extension of their glamorous lifestyles. It represented the very best of what money could buy, a clear distinction of one's success and standing in society. Despite its undeniable beauty and power, the Duesenberg Model J came at a time when such extravagance was unsustainable for many. The stock market crash of 1929 and the ensuing economic hardships meant that fewer and fewer people could afford such luxury items. By the time the 1934 model was introduced, Duesenberg was already struggling financially, and production of the Model J had slowed considerably. The company ultimately went out of business in 1937, making these cars even rarer and more valuable in the years that followed. Today, the few surviving examples are considered priceless, often selling at auctions for millions of dollars and holding a revered place in the pantheon of classic cars. The 1934 Duesenberg Model J remains one of the most revered vehicles in automotive history, a timeless representation of a bygone era of American luxury, innovation, and excess. Its combination of sheer power, bespoke craftsmanship, and stunning design has left an indelible mark on the automotive world. Even today, owning a Duesenberg Model J is seen as one of the ultimate achievements in car collecting, a testament to the car's lasting legacy as one of the rarest and most expensive American cars ever made. The phrase, "it's a Ducey," a compliment derived from the Duesenberg name, has even found its way into everyday language, a fitting tribute to a car that still stands as the gold standard of American automotive excellence. The 1967 Corvette L88 is nothing short of a legend in the automotive world, embodying the perfect balance between raw power and minimalism. Designed explicitly with racing in mind, this car wasn't meant to be just another Corvette. It was built to dominate on the track. Chevrolet only produced 20 of these high-performance machines, making the L88 one of the rarest and most sought-after Corvettes in existence. For collectors and enthusiasts, it represents not just a pinnacle of Corvette engineering, but a piece of American racing history. At the heart of the 1967 L88 Corvette was its monstrous 427 cubic-inch V8 engine, officially rated at 430 horsepower. However, those who drove it or raced it knew that the true output was much higher, with estimates often placing it at over 500 horsepower. Chevrolet intentionally underrated the L88's power to discourage everyday buyers from purchasing it. This was not a car built for casual driving. It was a purpose-built race car hiding in plain sight. The engine was paired with high-performance components such as aluminum heads, a forged crankshaft, and a high-lift camshaft, all contributing to the incredible performance this car delivered on the track. The Corvette L88 wasn't just about raw speed, though. It was designed with one goal in mind: racing. To that end, Chevrolet stripped the car of many features that would typically appeal to everyday buyers. Power steering, a radio, air conditioning, and even a heater were left out to reduce weight and enhance performance. The L88 was as close to a race car as a street-legal vehicle could get. But that street legality was more of a formality. Its purpose was clear. This car was meant to be driven hard and fast, preferably on a racetrack, where its capabilities could be fully unleashed. Another reason the L88 is so coveted by collectors today is its rarity. With only 20 units produced, finding an original 1967 L88 Corvette is like discovering a unicorn in the world of classic cars. These cars were not heavily advertised or pushed by dealerships because they were never intended for mass consumption. They were built for serious racers who knew what they were getting, a no-nonsense, high-performance machine that could compete in SCCA, Sports Car Club of America, events or other professional racing circuits. As a result, many of the L88s that were sold were purchased by private racers who appreciated their engineering excellence and put them to work on the track. Visually, the 1967 Corvette L88 looks similar to other Corvettes of its time, with the iconic Stingray body style, sleek curves, and aggressive stance. However, subtle cues set it apart for those in the know. The hood featured a distinctive air intake designed to feed more air into the engine, aiding in its high-performance capabilities. But it was what lay beneath the surface that truly made the L88 special. The reinforced chassis, heavy-duty suspension, and robust braking system were all designed to handle the immense power generated by the engine and keep the car glued to the road or track. For Corvette enthusiasts and car collectors, the L88 is the holy grail. Its combination of extreme rarity, unmatched performance, and racing pedigree makes it one of the most desirable Corvettes ever built. When one of these rare machines appears at auction, it commands astronomical prices, often reaching several $million. The allure of owning a car that not only represents a golden age of American muscle, but also stands as a testament to Chevrolet's engineering prowess is simply too great for collectors to resist. The legacy of the 1967 Corvette L88 extends far beyond its production numbers or auction prices. It represents a moment in automotive history when manufacturers like Chevrolet pushed the limits of what was possible, building cars that blurred the lines between street-legal vehicles and full-blown race cars. The L88 wasn't just a high-performance version of the Corvette. It was a statement about what American muscle could achieve, and it remains one of the most important and revered cars to ever roll out of Detroit. Today, the 1967 Corvette L88 continues to inspire awe and admiration in car enthusiasts around the world. Its rarity, racing heritage, and brutal performance have cemented its place in the annals of automotive history. For those lucky enough to own one, it's more than just a car. It's a symbol of speed, power, and the golden age of American automotive engineering. The Oldsmobile F88 is one of the most intriguing what could have been stories in automotive history. Debuting as a concept car in the 1950s, the F88 was a dazzling blend of sleek design, cutting-edge technology, and high-performance engineering. At a time when the American auto industry was pushing the boundaries of what cars could look like and how they could perform, the F88 was a glimpse into a possible future that never fully materialized. With its streamlined body, bold curves, and futuristic aesthetics, the F88 stood out as a symbol of ambition and innovation from Oldsmobile, a brand known for pushing the envelope in car design. The F88 was unveiled at General Motors Motorama Auto Show in 1954, an event that showcased the latest advancements and concept cars from GM's various brands. The F88 was one of the stars of the show, captivating audiences with its elegant, sporty profile that was far ahead of its time. The car shared some design cues with the Chevrolet Corvette, but it had its own distinct identity, marrying performance and luxury in a way that suggested Oldsmobile was aiming to create a true competitor in the burgeoning sports car market. Under the hood, the F88 packed serious power for a concept car. It was equipped with a 324 cubic inch rocket V8 engine, producing an impressive 250 horsepower. This was a significant amount of power in the 1950s, hinting that the F88 wasn't just about looks. It had the performance to back up its sporty appearance. The car's lightweight fiberglass body further enhanced its potential as a high-performance vehicle, making it capable of delivering a thrilling driving experience. In many ways, the F88 was a car that combined the best of what American automakers were striving for at the time: power, style, and innovation. The car's interior was equally stunning, featuring luxurious materials and an advanced dashboard layout that was futuristic for the era. With leather upholstery, chrome accents, and a sophisticated instrument cluster, the F88 aimed to blend the comfort of a high-end luxury car with the excitement of a sports car. It was a car that made a statement about where Oldsmobile wanted to go as a brand, towards a future where style didn't compromise performance. However, despite the immense excitement it generated, the Oldsmobile F88 never went into full production. Only a handful of prototypes were ever built, and the car remains one of the great what-ifs of the automotive world. The reasons for the F88's disappearance from Oldsmobile's lineup are largely speculative, but it's believed that internal competition within General Motors played a role. The Chevrolet Corvette had already staked its claim as GM's flagship sports car, and there may have been concerns that the F88 would compete too closely with the Corvette, diluting the market. As a result, the F88 faded into obscurity, with only a few prototypes surviving today. These remaining examples have become some of the most coveted pieces in the world of car collecting. The rarity, beauty, and untapped potential of the F88 have made it a legendary vehicle among collectors. And when one of the original prototypes does surface at auction, it fetches an astronomical price. In fact, one of the few remaining F88s sold for over $3 million at auction, a testament to the car's enduring allure and the mystique that surrounds it. What makes the Oldsmobile F88 so captivating even today is the sense of lost potential. It represents a moment in time when American automakers were willing to take bold risks, pushing the boundaries of design and engineering to create cars that were more than just vehicles. They were statements. The F88, with its futuristic design and powerful engine, was a vision of what could have been the next great American sports car. Instead, it remains a rare and tantalizing glimpse of what Oldsmobile was capable of when allowed to dream big. Today, the F88 is celebrated not just for what it was, but for what it represented: a daring fusion of luxury, performance, and futuristic design. As one of the rarest concept cars to ever be produced, it holds a special place in automotive history. For car enthusiasts and collectors alike, the Oldsmobile F88 is more than just a car. It's a symbol of innovation, ambition, and the roads not taken. The 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda convertible stands as one of the most legendary and sought-after muscle cars in American automotive history. With only 11 of these convertibles ever built, it is not just a car, it's a rare gem, an automotive icon that continues to captivate collectors and enthusiasts alike. As part of the golden era of muscle cars, the Hemi Cuda convertible represents the pinnacle of performance, power, and exclusivity. The Cuda, short for Barracuda, was Plymouth's entry into the competitive muscle car market of the late 1960s and early 1970s. By 1971, the Hemi Cuda had already made a name for itself as a high-performance beast on the road and track, but the convertible version took things to another level. The 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible was a car for the bold, an expression of raw power with a touch of open-air freedom that was unlike anything else on the market at the time. What truly set the 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible apart was its engine, the legendary 426 Hemi V8. This engine, known for its hemispherical combustion chambers, was the heart and soul of Chrysler's high-performance lineup. With an official rating of 425 horsepower, the Hemi V8 was a monster under the hood, but many believe its true power output was even higher, closer to 500 horsepower. The engine's torque was immense, making the Cuda convertible capable of blistering acceleration and incredible speed. In an era when muscle cars were defined by their power, the 426 Hemi was king, and the Hemi Cuda convertible was one of its most exclusive subjects. The rarity of the 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible adds to its mystique. Only 11 of these cars were built, with just 7 of them equipped with the manual transmission and 4 with the automatic. This extreme rarity has made the Hemi Cuda convertible one of the most coveted muscle cars of all time. Collectors are drawn to its limited production numbers, knowing that they are vying for one of the most exclusive pieces of automotive history. When one of these cars comes up for auction, it often fetches astronomical prices, well into the millions. In fact, in recent years, some examples have sold for as much as $3.5 million, a testament to the car's enduring value and desirability. Beyond its sheer power and rarity, the Hemi Cuda convertible was also a design masterpiece. The 1971 model year saw Plymouth introduce several distinctive styling cues that made the Cuda stand out even more. The aggressive front-end design, with its quad headlights and menacing grille, gave the car a fierce appearance. The bold, muscular lines of the body were complemented by features like the shaker hood scoop, which allowed the engine's air intake to rise through the hood, visibly shaking with the car's immense power. The rear featured dual exhausts and a spoiler, further emphasizing the car's performance pedigree. Inside, the car was outfitted with sporty touches and options that provided a blend of comfort and performance, making it suitable for both cruising and racing. The 71 Hemi Cuda convertible also came in a variety of eye-catching colors, including Plymouth's famous high-impact hues like Inviolet, Curious Yellow, and Sassy Grass Green. These vibrant colors, paired with black racing stripes and optional graphics, made the Cuda as visually striking as it was mechanically impressive. Whether it was parked or speeding down the highway, the Hemi Cuda convertible commanded attention. However, the timing of the 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible's release was bittersweet. By the early 1970s, the muscle car era was starting to wane. Increasing insurance rates, stricter emissions regulations, and the looming oil crisis all conspired to curb the production of high-performance cars. The 1971 model year was the last time the mighty 426 Hemi would be offered in the Barracuda, making it the end of an era for Plymouth's muscle car legacy. In some ways, this only enhances the allure of the 1971 Hemi Cuda convertible. It was the final, roaring chapter of a golden age in American automotive history. Today, the Plymouth Hemi Cuda convertible from 1971 is more than just a car. It's a symbol of power, exclusivity, and the American muscle car's defiance against the changing tides of the automotive industry. Owning one of these rare machines is like holding a piece of history, a reminder of a time when Detroit ruled the streets with loud, unapologetic performance cars. For collectors, the Hemi Cuda convertible isn't just a dream car, it's the ultimate prize, a testament to engineering excellence, raw power, and the enduring appeal of American muscle. The Tucker 48, often referred to as the Tucker Torpedo, is one of the most fascinating and forward-thinking cars in American automotive history. Designed by the visionary Preston Tucker, this car embodied a bold vision of the future, with innovations that were decades ahead of their time. Despite its promise, the Tucker 48's story is a tragic one, marked by immense creativity, financial struggle, and controversy. Only 51 of these groundbreaking cars were ever built before the company collapsed, but the legacy of the Tucker 48 endures as a symbol of innovation and what might have been. Preston Tucker was not just a car designer, he was a dreamer who sought to revolutionize the automotive industry in the late 1940s. After World War II, Americans were eager for modern, advanced cars, and Tucker saw an opportunity to shake up the market with a vehicle that would be safer, more reliable, and more stylish than anything else on the road. The Tucker 48 was meant to be that car, a sleek, futuristic automobile packed with technological advancements that set it apart from the traditional designs of the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Tucker 48 was its groundbreaking safety features. At a time when safety was an afterthought in car design, Tucker made it a priority. The Tucker 48 came equipped with several innovative safety elements, many of which would not become standard in the auto industry until decades later. One of its most famous features was the Cyclops Eye, a third headlight mounted in the center of the car that turned with the steering wheel, improving visibility around corners at night. This feature was so ahead of its time that even today, modern cars are only beginning to adopt similar, adaptive lighting technology. In addition to the Cyclops Eye, the Tucker 48 was designed with a shatterproof windshield that would pop out during a collision to protect passengers from glass injuries. The car also had a padded dashboard to reduce injury in the event of an accident, and seatbelts were considered, although they were ultimately not included in the final design due to public resistance to the idea at the time. Tucker's focus on safety was revolutionary in an era when most manufacturers prioritized style and performance over driver and passenger protection. The Tucker 48's mechanical design was just as innovative as its safety features. The car was powered by a rear-mounted, horizontally opposed six-cylinder engine, derived from an aircraft engine. This unique layout provided better weight distribution, contributing to improved handling and a smoother ride. The engine was also designed to be easy to service, with the ability to be swapped out in under 30 minutes, a feature that would have been highly convenient for mechanics and owners alike. Preston Tucker also envisioned a suspension system that would provide an exceptionally smooth ride, capable of absorbing bumps and road imperfections with ease. This forward-thinking approach to both performance and comfort was intended to make the Tucker 48 a dream to drive, whether on smooth highways or rougher roads. Unfortunately, some of these innovations were not fully realized in production models due to the financial troubles that plagued the company. Despite its many innovative features, the Tucker 48 faced a host of challenges from the start. Tucker's company was underfunded and struggled to raise the capital needed to fully develop and mass-produce the car. Preston Tucker also faced intense scrutiny and opposition from established automakers who were threatened by his bold vision and disruptive ideas. Rumors of behind-the-scenes lobbying and political pressure from the big three automakers have fueled speculation that Tucker's downfall was not just the result of financial mismanagement, but also the machinations of powerful industry forces determined to maintain their dominance. In 1949, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, launched an investigation into Tucker's business practices, accusing him of fraud. While Tucker was eventually acquitted of all charges, the legal battle and negative press took a heavy toll on the company. By the time the trial concluded, Tucker's company was bankrupt, and production of the Tucker 48 had come to a halt after only 51 cars had been completed. The Tucker 48, however, did not fade into obscurity. Over the years, it has gained a cult following among car enthusiasts, collectors, and historians. Its rarity, only 47 of the original 51 cars are known to still exist, combined with its cutting-edge design and the dramatic story behind its creation, has made it one of the most coveted and valuable classic cars in the world. Tucker 48s have been known to fetch millions of dollars at auction, with collectors recognizing the car not just as a rare vehicle, but as a piece of American automotive history. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 is a true icon of American muscle car history, representing the pinnacle of performance during the golden era of high-powered V8-driven machines. This particular Camaro is one of the rarest and most sought-after muscle cars ever produced, with only 69 units built. What makes the ZL1 so legendary is not just its rarity, but the incredible engineering that went into creating a car that was primarily designed for the drag strip, yet managed to capture the imaginations of car enthusiasts everywhere. At the heart of the 1969 Camaro ZL1 was its massive 427 cubic inch V8 engine, an all-aluminum powerhouse that was originally developed for the Can-Am racing series. This engine was an engineering marvel for its time, producing well over 500 horsepower, even though Chevrolet officially rated it at a conservative 430 horsepower. The use of aluminum for both the engine block and head significantly reduced the car's weight, providing a performance edge that made the ZL1 a beast, both on the drag strip and on the street. The ZL1 engine was part of Chevrolet's Central Office Production Order program, which allowed dealers to order cars with specific options and configurations not normally available to the general public. The COPO program was typically used for fleet vehicles, but enterprising dealers like Fred Gibbs Chevrolet saw its potential for high-performance cars. By exploiting this loophole, Gibb was able to order the first batch of Camaro ZL1s, creating one of the most legendary muscle cars of all time. These cars were built with the intention of competing in the NHRA Superstock drag racing class, where they quickly made a name for themselves due to their blistering speed and raw power. However, while the ZL1 was a performance monster, it was not an easy car to sell. The aluminum engine alone added a significant cost to the car, pushing its price tag to nearly double that of a standard Camaro SS. In 1969, the ZL1's base price was around $7,200, a staggering amount for the time, which meant that despite its unmatched performance, it was out of reach for most buyers. As a result, many of the 69 units sat on dealer lots for months, with some eventually being converted back to more affordable configurations. Despite its initial struggles in the marketplace, the Camaro ZL1's reputation has only grown over the decades. Today, it's regarded as one of the most valuable and collectible Camaros ever made. Finding an original ZL1 is nearly impossible, and when one does come up for auction, it often fetches a price well into the millions. Collectors are drawn to its combination of rarity, racing heritage, and sheer performance. A perfect storm that makes the ZL1 a holy grail for muscle car enthusiasts. What sets the 1969 ZL1 apart from other legendary muscle cars of the era is its uncompromising focus on performance. While many muscle cars were built for street use with flashy designs and powerful engines, the ZL1 was essentially a race car that had been homologated for the road. Its lightweight engine, advanced for its time, and the raw horsepower it produced made it virtually unbeatable on the drag strip. Few cars of its era could match its performance, and even fewer could claim to have such a rich motorsport pedigree. The 1969 Camaro ZL1 also stands out because of its place in Camaro history. While the Camaro had already established itself as a serious contender in the muscle car wars with its SS and Z/28 variants, the ZL1 took it to an entirely different level. The ZL1's combination of race-ready technology and street-legal status was a game-changer, proving that Chevrolet could produce a car that could compete with the best on the track while still being drivable on public roads. Today, the ZL1's legacy continues to inspire the Camaro nameplate. Chevrolet has revived the ZL1 badge in recent years, producing modern Camaros that pay homage to the original's focus on extreme performance. However, as impressive as the modern ZL1 is, there's something truly special about the 1969 version. A car born in the golden age of muscle cars, when raw power and speed were the ultimate measures of success. In the end, The 1969 Camaro ZL1 is more than just a rare muscle car. It's a symbol of an era when performance was king and automakers were willing to push the boundaries of what was possible. Its blend of rarity, racing pedigree, and blistering performance has ensured its place in automotive history, making it one of the most legendary cars of all time. For muscle car enthusiasts and collectors, the ZL1 is more than just a car. It's a piece of American automotive folklore. The 1931 Marmon 16 stands as one of the most remarkable and luxurious cars of its era, a symbol of engineering excellence and artistic design. Competing directly with automotive giants like Cadillac and Packard, the Marmon 16 was produced in very limited numbers. Only 400 were ever built, adding to its allure and making it a rare and highly sought-after collector's item today. Despite being lesser known than some of its contemporaries, the Marmon 16 was a technological marvel and a testament to innovation in the early days of American luxury automobiles. At the heart of the Marmon 16 was its crowning achievement, a powerful 491 cubic inch V16 engine, one of the most advanced and ambitious engines of its time. This massive engine produced an impressive 200 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful vehicles of its day. The V16 configuration wasn't just about brute force, it was designed to provide smooth and effortless performance, with the aim of delivering both power and refinement, a combination that was rare in the 1930s. This engine allowed the Marmon 16 to cruise at speeds that were not only fast for the time, but delivered the kind of smooth driving experience that only a few cars could offer. The introduction of the Marmon 16 in 1931 came at a difficult time in American history, the onset of the Great Depression. While the car's target market was the ultra-wealthy, the economic hardships of the time made it difficult for even the wealthiest buyers to justify purchasing such an extravagant vehicle. This is one reason why so few were produced, making it even rarer and more valuable today. The price tag for the 16 was steep, further limiting its accessibility. At over $5,000 when new, a fortune in 1931, this luxury machine was more of a statement piece for those who could afford it, a symbol of wealth and status that was unattainable for most. Aesthetically, the Marmon 16 was a masterpiece of design. Its sleek, streamlined body was influenced by the Art Deco movement, giving it a graceful and elegant appearance. The long hood needed to house the V16 engine gave the car a sense of grandeur, while the flowing fenders and rounded lines showcased the craftsmanship and attention to detail that went into every vehicle. Inside, the car was outfitted with luxurious materials, including fine wood and leather, making the cabin a reflection of the car's exterior beauty. It was a car designed not only to perform, but to impress. The Marmon 16 also pushed the boundaries of engineering innovation. Howard Marmon, the company's founder and a former engineer, took a hands-on approach in the design of the vehicle, ensuring that it was both powerful and lightweight. Marmon used aluminum extensively in the construction of the engine and the body panels, a pioneering move at the time that reduced the car's overall weight and enhanced its performance. This use of lightweight materials was ahead of its time and showcased Marmon's dedication to producing a car that was not just about excess, but also about technical prowess. Despite its many qualities, the Marmon 16's life was short-lived. The combination of its high price and the economic challenges of the Great Depression meant that only a limited number of these vehicles were sold, and Marmon was forced to cease production not long after. The 16 became the company's swan song as Marmon ultimately went out of business in 1933. However, the legacy of the Marmon 16 has endured, with collectors and automotive historians continuing to celebrate it as one of the finest cars ever made. Today, the Marmon 16 is a collector's dream, prized not only for its rarity, but for its significance in automotive history. Owning one of the 400 cars produced is considered a significant achievement in the world of classic car collecting. These cars regularly fetch millions of dollars at auction, and their rarity ensures that they remain highly coveted. The combination of the groundbreaking V16 engine, luxurious design, and the historical context of its production has cemented the Marmon 16's place as one of the most important American cars of the pre-war era. In many ways, the 1931 Marmon 16 represents the height of early American automotive luxury and innovation. It was a car designed without compromise, pushing the boundaries of what was possible both mechanically and aesthetically. While Marmon may not have survived the economic downturn of the 1930s, the 16 has left an indelible mark on the world of classic cars, a lasting tribute to the ingenuity and ambition of a bygone era. The Shelby Cobra is an iconic name in the world of American sports cars, known for its raw power, aggressive design, and racing pedigree. But among the many versions of the Cobra, none is as rare or as legendary as the 427 Super Snake. This ultra-exclusive version of the already formidable Shelby Cobra is one of the rarest cars in automotive history, with only 2 ever built. It wasn't just a sports car, it was an all-out, road-dominating machine, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in terms of power and performance in the 1960s. The 427 Super Snake was a special edition of the Cobra that took performance to new heights. Built by Carroll Shelby himself, the car was based on the already powerful 427 Cobra, which featured a 7.0-liter V8 engine that could easily surpass 400 horsepower. But Shelby, always pushing the limits, decided to take things even further. The Super Snake was equipped with a twin supercharged version of the 427 V8, boosting its output to a staggering 800 horsepower. This immense power made the Super Snake one of the most extreme street-legal cars of its time, capable of performance figures that were nearly unheard of in the 1960s. To understand just how extraordinary the 427 Super Snake was, it's important to put its power into perspective. At a time when most high-performance cars were making between 300 and 400 horsepower, the Super Snake's 800 horsepower made it an absolute monster. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds and had a top speed that exceeded 200 miles per hour, figures that were more common in modern supercars than in anything from the 1960s. Driving the Super Snake was not for the faint of heart. Its immense power, combined with the lightweight body of the Cobra, made it a beast on the road, requiring serious skill to handle its potential. The story behind the 2 Super Snakes adds to their mystique. One of the cars, known as CSX 3015, was built for Carroll Shelby himself, while the other, CSX 3303, was made for Shelby's close friend, comedian Bill Cosby. Legend has it that Cosby, after driving the car only once, was so terrified by its sheer power that he returned it, claiming it was too dangerous. Cosby's experience with the Super Snake would later inspire one of his comedy routines, humorously recounting his encounter with the car's overwhelming performance. Unfortunately, the second Super Snake, CSX 3303, met a tragic end. After it was returned by Cosby, it was sold to another owner who lost control of the car and crashed it into the Pacific Ocean, leaving CSX 3015 as the only surviving 427 Super Snake. This only adds to the car's rarity and legendary status, making it one of the most coveted pieces of automotive history. The remaining Super Snake, CSX 3015, has become one of the most valuable cars in the world. It has changed hands a few times over the decades, each time commanding an astronomical price. In 2007, the car was sold at auction for over $5 million, a testament to its place as one of the most significant and rare cars ever built. Its value has only increased since then, as it represents not just a piece of Shelby history, but a milestone in the evolution of American high-performance cars. The 427 Super Snake stands as a shining example of Carroll Shelby's relentless pursuit of power and speed. It's a car that embodies the spirit of American muscle, unapologetically fast, brash, and built for those who could handle its extreme nature. While the standard Shelby Cobra is already considered one of the most iconic American cars, the Super Snake version elevates the legend even further, standing as a one-of-a-kind piece of automotive history that will forever be remembered as one of the most powerful and rarest sports cars ever created. Today, the 427 Super Snake continues to captivate car enthusiasts and collectors alike, not just for its incredible performance, but for the story behind it. With only one remaining, it's a car that exists at the intersection of power, history, and rarity. Owning a car like the Super Snake is not just about having a piece of machinery. It's about owning a piece of American automotive folklore. Its place in history is cemented, and for those lucky enough to see it in person, it serves as a reminder of what can happen when a visionary like Carroll Shelby is given free rein to push the boundaries of performance and design. The 1957 Dodge D501 is a true hidden gem in the world of American muscle cars, a rarity that has largely been overshadowed by more famous models from its era. While names like the Chevrolet Corvette, Ford Mustang, and Plymouth Barracuda have gone down in history as icons of the muscle car world, the D501 quietly emerged as a high-performance machine designed specifically for one thing: speed. What makes this car so unique, aside from its scarcity, is its purpose-built nature and the engineering behind it, which set it apart as one of Dodge's most formidable, yet underappreciated, creations of the 1950s. In an era when automakers were pushing the limits of what their cars could do on the drag strip and the racetrack, Dodge saw an opportunity to create something special for performance enthusiasts. The D501 was introduced as a drag racing powerhouse, built with a lightweight body and packed with some serious engineering under the hood. Only about 101 units were ever produced, making it incredibly rare and valuable to collectors today. Its limited production run was not only due to its niche appeal, but also because Dodge was testing the waters with this car, designed specifically to dominate in NHRA-sanctioned drag races. At the heart of the D501 was its engine, a highly tuned version of Dodge's legendary Hemi Cuda, a 354 cubic inch power plant that had been borrowed from the Chrysler 300B and adapted for high-performance use. In its D501 configuration, this engine pumped out a staggering 340 horsepower, which was an extraordinary figure for its time. This made it one of the most powerful street-legal cars available in the late 1950s, capable of impressive acceleration that rivaled other drag-oriented vehicles of the era. The car's lightweight body, stripped of unnecessary components to keep it nimble on the drag strip, further enhanced its performance, making it a formidable competitor in its class. What makes the D501 even more special is that it was essentially a factory-built race car that could be driven on the street. Dodge engineers outfitted it with numerous performance upgrades, including heavy-duty suspension components, oversized drum brakes, and a reinforced rear axle, all designed to handle the high stresses of racing. The D501 also came with a 4-speed manual transmission, which was rare at the time for American cars, further cementing its status as a true performance machine. Its low production numbers meant that each car was meticulously built with racing in mind, giving it an aura of exclusivity that few other cars from that era could match. However, despite its incredible performance potential, the D501 never gained the widespread recognition that some of its competitors enjoyed. Part of this can be attributed to timing. 1957 was a transitional year for American automakers, as the muscle car craze that would dominate the 1960s was still in its infancy. The D501 was ahead of its time in many ways, a car built with the drag racer in mind during a period when most consumers were looking for family cars or sleek cruisers. Its purpose-built nature meant that it wasn't as versatile as other cars of the period, and its high price tag for a Dodge made it a niche choice for a select few. The D501 also didn't benefit from the marketing and cultural impact that later muscle cars would enjoy. While cars like the Ford Mustang and Pontiac GTO became cultural icons, the D501 remained somewhat obscure, known primarily within the drag racing community and among hardcore car enthusiasts. This obscurity has only added to its allure over the years, turning it into a coveted prize for collectors who recognize its significance as one of the earliest true muscle cars. Despite its relative anonymity, the 1957 Dodge D501 is a fascinating piece of automotive history. It represents a pivotal moment for Dodge as the company began exploring the performance market that would eventually lead to the iconic Dodge Charger and Challenger in the 1960s and 1970s. The D501's rarity, combined with its raw power and racing pedigree, makes it a standout among classic American cars. While it may not have achieved the fame of its counterparts, Those who know the D501 understand its significance as a precursor to the muscle car movement that would soon take the world by storm. Today, finding a D501 in good condition is a challenge, as many of the original 101 units were used extensively in racing, leading to wear and tear or even destruction. The few surviving examples are considered holy grails among collectors, commanding high prices at auctions and car shows. The D501 is a reminder that some of the greatest performance cars don't always get the recognition they deserve in their time, but their impact can be felt for generations to come. The Cadillac Le Mans is a fascinating chapter in automotive history, embodying Cadillac's vision of blending performance with luxury. Designed as a concept car to commemorate Cadillac's achievements in the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans, the Le Mans stands out not only for its rare production, but also for its ambitious attempt to push the boundaries of automotive design in the 1950s. Introduced in 1953, the Cadillac Le Mans was crafted to celebrate Cadillac's success and innovation in endurance racing. The car was a showcase of the company's ability to merge cutting-edge technology with the opulence that Cadillac was known for. Only 4 of these concept vehicles were ever built, making them extremely rare and highly coveted by collectors and automotive enthusiasts. The design of the Cadillac Le Mans was strikingly futuristic for its time. It featured a sleek, streamlined body with a low profile, designed to emphasize speed and elegance. The car's aerodynamic shape was a testament to Cadillac's commitment to incorporating the latest in automotive design principles. The exterior was characterized by smooth flowing lines that gave it a sense of speed even when stationary, while the distinctive front grille and rear fins echoed the design language Cadillac was developing during the era. Under the hood, the Le Mans boasted impressive performance capabilities. It was equipped with Cadillac's advanced V8 engine, which was already known for its power and smooth operation. The engine provided the Le Mans with the kind of performance that matched its dramatic looks, ensuring that it wasn't just a showpiece but a functional, high-performance vehicle. The car's suspension and handling were also tuned for both comfort and agility, reflecting Cadillac's dedication to delivering a superior driving experience. Inside, the Le Mans continued to exemplify Cadillac's commitment to luxury. The interior featured plush, high-quality materials, including leather upholstery and polished wood trim. The dashboard was designed with a futuristic layout, incorporating advanced instrumentation and controls that hinted at the technological advancements Cadillac was exploring. This blend of luxury and technology made the Le Mans a true showcase of Cadillac's vision for the future of automobiles. Despite its groundbreaking design and performance, the Cadillac Le Mans remained a concept car. The limited number of units produced, only 4, ensured that the Le Mans would remain a rare and elusive gem in the world of classic cars. After its introduction, the Le Mans was primarily used for promotional purposes and displayed at various auto shows and events to highlight Cadillac's capabilities and innovation. Today, the Cadillac Le Mans is considered a prized artifact in the history of automotive design. Most of the original 4 cars have been preserved in museums or private collections, where they continue to captivate audiences with their blend of futuristic styling and historical significance. Each surviving Le Mans is a testament to Cadillac's early exploration into high-performance luxury vehicles and serves as a reminder of the brand's aspirations during a pivotal time in automotive history. The Le Mans concept car not only celebrated Cadillac's racing achievements, but also paved the way for future innovations in both design and performance. Its rarity and significance make it a sought-after collector's item, with each car representing a unique piece of Cadillac's storied past. As a symbol of what was possible in automotive design during the 1950s, the Cadillac Le Mans continues to be an enduring icon of luxury and performance, cherished by enthusiasts and historians alike. The 1936 Stout Scarab represents a fascinating and pioneering chapter in the history of automotive design, often celebrated as the world's first minivan. Its development and subsequent impact on the automotive industry are testaments to the visionary thinking of William Stout, an aeronautical engineer whose ideas transcended the boundaries of conventional car design. William Stout, a man known for his innovations in aviation, turned his attention to the automotive world with the aim of creating a vehicle that would revolutionize the way people traveled. Drawing from his expertise in aircraft design, Stout envisioned a car that combined aerodynamic efficiency with interior flexibility, a concept that was virtually unheard of in the 1930s. The result was the Stout Scarab, a vehicle that would be ahead of its time in many respects and remain a fascinating curiosity for enthusiasts and historians. One of the most striking features of the Stout Scarab was its design, which drew heavily from principles of aerodynamics and streamlining. The Scarab's body was characterized by its smooth flowing lines and rounded edges, designed to minimize air resistance and improve performance. This design approach was inspired by the aerodynamic principles used in aircraft, and it represented a bold departure from the boxy and angular shapes typical of cars from that era. The Scarab's exterior was more than just visually striking. It was also functional, intended to enhance the vehicle's speed and fuel efficiency. The Scarab was powered by a rear-mounted V8 engine, a layout that was unconventional for its time. This rear engine configuration not only allowed for a more spacious and flexible interior, but also contributed to the car's balanced handling and improved weight distribution. The placement of the engine in the rear allowed for a flat floor plan, which was a novel feature that facilitated a more open and versatile cabin. This design choice anticipated the modern minivan concept, where maximizing interior space and comfort became key priorities. Inside, the Stout Scarab was designed to offer a level of luxury and comfort that was ahead of its time. The interior featured seating for up to 6 passengers, with a central driving position that allowed for a more open and communal seating arrangement. This design was not only functional, but also aimed at providing a more social and comfortable driving experience. The Scarab's interior included features such as plush upholstery and advanced amenities that were meant to cater to the needs of its occupants, making it a precursor to the family-friendly vehicles that would become popular in later decades. Despite its innovative design and advanced features, the Stout Scarab faced significant challenges that ultimately limited its production and commercial success. The car was produced during a period of economic uncertainty, and its high production costs and complex design made it difficult to manufacture at a price point that would appeal to a broad audience. Additionally, the Scarab's unconventional design did not align with the prevailing tastes of the time, and many consumers and automotive critics were unsure of its practicality and appeal. Only 9 Stout Scarabs were built, and today only 5 of these original vehicles are known to exist. Each surviving Scarab is a rare and valuable artifact, representing a unique moment in automotive history. These remaining examples are often preserved in museums or private collections, where they continue to attract interest from enthusiasts and scholars alike. The rarity of the Scarab adds to its mystique and allure, making it a sought-after piece for collectors who appreciate its historical significance and pioneering design. The legacy of the Stout Scarab extends beyond its limited production and commercial challenges. It stands as an early example of how innovative thinking and technological advancements can shape the future of automotive design. The Scarab's emphasis on aerodynamic efficiency, interior space, and comfort foreshadowed many of the features that would become standard in future vehicle designs, particularly in the realm of minivans and family-oriented cars. Stout's vision for the Scarab was a bold attempt to redefine what a vehicle could be. While the car may not have achieved widespread commercial success, its impact on the automotive world has been significant. The Scarab is a testament to the idea that innovation often requires pushing the boundaries of conventional design and embracing new concepts that may not always align with the current market demands. In summary, the 1936 Stout Scarab remains a remarkable and influential piece of automotive history. Its pioneering design, advanced features, and limited production make it a standout example of early automotive innovation. The 1967 Dodge Coronet W23 is one of the most legendary and elusive muscle cars ever created, embodying the raw power and unrelenting focus on performance that defined the golden era of drag racing. Produced in extremely limited numbers, only 55 were made. This car was designed with one purpose in mind: dominating the quarter-mile drag strip. Unlike many of its muscle car peers, the Coronet W23 was not built for casual cruising or daily driving, but for those who live for the thrill of speed and the roar of a high-performance engine. Dodge, keen on asserting its dominance in the world of drag racing, introduced the Coronet W23 as part of a factory-built drag racer program in 1967. This car wasn't a mere street machine modified for occasional track use. It was purpose-built from the ground up to deliver exceptional straight-line speed. The goal was simple: produce a lightweight, high-power vehicle that could blow away the competition, and that's exactly what Dodge accomplished. At the heart of the W23 was a beastly 426 Hemi Cuda engine, known as the Elephant engine, because of its massive size and unparalleled output. This engine was capable of producing an impressive 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, though many believe these factory numbers were conservative estimates. In reality, the W23's Hemi engine could push well beyond those figures, delivering jaw-dropping acceleration that made it a force to be reckoned with on the drag strip. The engine was paired with either a 4-speed manual transmission or an automatic, giving drivers the ability to harness the Hemi's power with precision. To maximize performance, Dodge took extreme measures to reduce the car's weight, knowing that every pound counted in drag racing. The Coronet W23 was stripped down to the essentials, with lightweight materials used throughout its construction. The hood, front fenders, and front bumper were all made from fiberglass, while the side windows were replaced with lighter plexiglass. Even the soundproofing and insulation were removed, as they added unnecessary weight that would only slow the car down. Inside, the car was bare bones, with minimal creature comforts. Dodge wasn't concerned with luxury or style. The interior was a Spartan environment that existed solely to support the car's performance. Externally, the Coronet W23 didn't look all that different from a regular 1967 Dodge Coronet. It maintained the same aggressive, boxy lines that were common to the Coronet lineup. But hidden beneath the unassuming exterior was a machine built to win. The lightweight body and stripped-down construction were complemented by a heavy-duty suspension system and racing-grade rear axles that ensured the car could handle the immense power generated by the Hemi engine. The 1967 Dodge Coronet W23 was never intended for mass consumption. Dodge built these cars exclusively for drag racing enthusiasts and professional racers, which is why only 55 units were ever produced. Most of these cars were sold directly to drag racing teams or individuals who had the skills and knowledge to handle such a high-performance vehicle. As a result, finding a W23 today is akin to discovering a rare treasure. It's a car that was built for a specific purpose and existed in such small numbers that many never even knew it existed. For those lucky enough to own or encounter a W23 today, it represents not just a rare piece of automotive history, but a snapshot of an era when American automakers were willing to push the envelope in pursuit of performance. The car's legacy lives on in the drag racing community, where it remains revered as one of the most potent and capable machines of its time. Collectors who manage to get their hands on one of these rare cars know they possess a true gem, both for its historical significance and its unparalleled performance pedigree. Today, the Coronet W23 stands as a testament to Dodge's commitment to performance and innovation in the late 1960s. It's a reminder of a time when automakers took bold risks to cater to a small but passionate community of drag racing enthusiasts. With its lightweight construction, legendary Hemi engine, and racing pedigree, the W23 is not only a rare car, but a symbol of what makes American muscle cars so iconic. Raw, unfiltered power delivered in a no-nonsense package. The 1959 Cadillac El Dorado Bro was the pinnacle of American automotive luxury during an era when bigger, bolder, and more extravagant were the defining characteristics of car design. With only 99 units ever produced, this rare masterpiece has become one of the most coveted and iconic luxury cars in history. Built at a time when Cadillac was at the forefront of automotive innovation, the El Dorado Bro embodied the spirit of excess, opulence, and cutting-edge technology that defined the late 1950s. It's no exaggeration to say that this model stands as a symbol of an era when Cadillac reigned supreme as the standard of the world. The El Dorado Bro was unlike any other Cadillac of its time, or any car for that matter. Priced at an astronomical $13,075, in 1959, more expensive than a Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. It was aimed squarely at the ultra-wealthy. To put that into perspective, the average home price in the US at the time was around $12,000, making the El Dorado Bro a status symbol for only the most affluent buyers. It was designed for those who wanted not just a car, but a rolling statement of luxury, style, and exclusivity. From the outside, the 1959 El Dorado Bro was unmistakable. The most prominent feature was its signature tail fins, which were a hallmark of Cadillac's design during the 1950s. These towering fins, often referred to as the jet age styling, extended dramatically from the rear of the car, making it one of the most recognizable designs in automotive history. The tail fins weren't just for show. They encapsulated the post-war American fascination with space, aviation, and progress, making the El Dorado Bro a futuristic symbol of where America was headed. The El Dorado Bro's exterior was also defined by its brushed stainless steel roof, a feature that added to its sense of uniqueness and luxury. The combination of stainless steel and sleek chrome accents gave the car distinctive, almost industrial elegance that set it apart from anything else on the road. The rest of the body was crafted with smooth flowing lines, embodying the long and low aesthetic that was popular during the late 1950s. Even the tires had a luxurious twist. White wall tires with thin gold trim emphasized the level of attention to detail that Cadillac invested in this car. But it was inside the El Dorado Bro where the true luxury revealed itself. The interior was nothing short of lavish, featuring premium materials such as leather, cashmere, and real wood. Cadillac spared no expense in creating an environment that was as plush as a high-end living room. The seats, for instance, were made with thick, supple leather and could be electrically adjusted in nearly every direction. Cadillac even introduced innovations like memory seating, which allowed drivers to save their seat positions, a feature that was unheard of at the time. The El Dorado Bro's interior wasn't just about comfort. It was also filled with advanced technology for its time. The car was equipped with power everything, windows, door locks, and even a power-operated trunk. It also featured an automatic air suspension system, which promised to deliver the smoothest ride imaginable by adjusting the car's height based on road conditions. However, this system turned out to be one of the El Dorado Bro's weak points, as it was prone to failure, which added to the car's already exorbitant maintenance costs. Adding to the car's exclusivity, each 1959 El Dorado Bro was hand-built in Italy by the famous coach builders at Pininfarina, further contributing to its staggering price. The craftsmanship was top-tier, but the production process was slow and expensive. Pininfarina's involvement gave the car an air of European elegance, blending American grandeur with Italian artistry. This international collaboration was part of what made the El Dorado Bro so unique, but it also made it prohibitively expensive to produce. Despite its incredible design and technological prowess, the El Dorado Bro was not a commercial success. With its limited production run of only 99 units in 1959, it was clear that Cadillac didn't expect the Bro to be a high-volume seller. Instead, it was a statement piece, a car that demonstrated what was possible when luxury and innovation were pushed to their limits. It was Cadillac's answer to those who believed that more was always better, that no price was too high for excellence. The Ford GT40 Mark II is not just a race car, it's a legendary symbol of American automotive dominance and one of the most celebrated racing machines in history. Its rarity and historical significance make it a highly coveted collector's item, especially since it was purpose-built to achieve one of the most iconic victories in motorsports, beating Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This was no small feat, as Ferrari had dominated Le Mans for years, but Ford, under the leadership of Henry Ford II, was determined to prove that an American car could take on and defeat the best Europe had to offer. The Ford GT40 Mark II was born out of a rivalry that began when Ferrari backed out of a deal to sell its company to Ford in the early 1960s. Infuriated by the failed negotiations, Henry Ford II set his sights on defeating Ferrari at the most prestigious endurance race in the world, Le Mans. To do this, Ford developed the GT40, and the Mark II variant was the one that finally broke Ferrari's winning streak. Only a small number of GT40 Mark IIs were ever produced, and these cars were specifically designed for endurance racing. The M2 featured a powerful 7.0-liter V8 engine, which gave it a significant edge in speed and power over its European rivals. This engine was a massive upgrade from the smaller V8 in the earlier Mark I version, and it delivered the raw power needed to push the car to its limits over long races. With over 485 horsepower, the GT40 Mark II could reach speeds of over 200 miles per hour on the straightaways at Le Mans, making it a formidable competitor. One of the most memorable moments in motorsports history came in 1966 when the Ford GT40 Mark II took the top 3 spots at Le Mans, completing a historic 1-2-3 finish. This was a resounding victory, not only for Ford, but for American engineering on the global stage. The race solidified the GT40 Mark II's place in the annals of racing history as it ended Ferrari's 5-year dominance at the event and forever changed the landscape of international racing. Despite its groundbreaking success, only a handful of Ford GT40 Mark IIs were built, which makes them extremely rare today. The rarity is compounded by the fact that many of the original Mark IIs were raced hard and some were damaged or destroyed in competition. Of the few remaining examples, each car has its own unique racing history, and the survivors are highly prized by collectors and racing enthusiasts alike. These cars represent not just a technical triumph, but a turning point in motorsports history, where Ford proved that America could compete with and even outperform the European racing giants. The GT40 Mark II also helped pave the way for future innovations in racing and car design. Its success demonstrated the importance of aerodynamics, power, and endurance influencing the development of race cars for years to come. The GT40 lineage would go on to evolve, with later models achieving continued success at Le Mans and further cementing Ford's place in racing history. Owning a Ford GT40 Mark II today is akin to owning a piece of automotive history. These cars are not just museum pieces. They are living legends that tell the story of one of the most dramatic rivalries in racing and one of the most extraordinary feats of engineering. The few that remain are often displayed in prestigious car collections or racing museums, serving as a reminder of Ford's monumental achievement. In addition to their historical significance, these cars are worth millions of dollars at auction, with prices soaring whenever one becomes available. The value of a Ford GT40 Mark II goes beyond its rarity or even its stunning design. It embodies a pivotal moment in motorsports when the underdog triumphed and American ingenuity reshaped the racing world. The Chrysler C300, often regarded as the original American muscle car, marked the dawn of high-performance automobiles in the United States. Introduced in 1955, it was the first in Chrysler's letter series of luxury performance cars, which would set the standard for power, speed, and style in the years to come. The C300 was groundbreaking in its design and performance, offering both luxury and the kind of horsepower that was unprecedented for the time. At the heart of the Chrysler C300 was its 300 horsepower Hemi 58 engine, which was derived from Chrysler's experience in racing and aviation. This 5.4-liter V8, known as the firepower engine, featured hemispherical combustion chambers, a design that allowed for more efficient airflow and combustion. As a result, the C300 was capable of remarkable acceleration and top speeds for its era. In fact, it was the fastest production car in America when it debuted, with a top speed exceeding 130 miles per hour. What made the Chrysler C300 even more exceptional was the fact that it blended this raw performance with luxury, offering a refined interior with leather upholstery, power windows, and a sleek aerodynamic exterior. Its elegant yet muscular design, with long flowing lines and a distinctive grille, gave it a commanding presence on the road. Chrysler managed to create a car that appealed to those looking for high-speed thrills and those who sought luxury, making the C300 a trailblazer in the high-performance luxury market. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Chrysler C300 was its dominance in motorsports. In 1955, it swept the NASCAR Grand National Circuit, winning both the Manufacturers' Championship and several races. This success on the racetrack solidified the C300's reputation as a true performance machine, and helped establish Chrysler as a leader in the American automotive industry. Despite its success, only about 1,725 Chrysler C300s were produced in 1955, making it a rare car even during its time. Today, finding a C300 in good condition is even more challenging, as many have been lost to the ravages of time or have been heavily modified over the years. Those that do survive are highly prized by collectors and enthusiasts, as the car represents a critical turning point in the history of American automotive performance. What truly set the C300 apart from other cars of the era was its combination of performance and sophistication. While many cars in the 1950s were focused on style or comfort, the C300 was engineered to deliver raw power without sacrificing the luxury that Chrysler was known for. It could comfortably cruise on highways or tear down the track, making it a versatile and desirable vehicle. The Chrysler C300 is also significant for laying the groundwork for the muscle car era that would explode in the 1960s. It introduced the idea that a car could be both fast and luxurious, inspiring a generation of American automakers to push the limits of performance. The legacy of the C300 can be seen in later Chrysler models, as well as in the cars produced by competitors like Ford and Chevrolet, who would go on to create their own iconic muscle cars. In today's collector car market, the Chrysler C300 is considered a rare and valuable gem. Its combination of limited production, historical significance, and enduring performance makes it a sought-after piece of automotive history. Finding a C300 in pristine condition is a challenge, but for those lucky enough to own one, it represents not just a car, but a symbol of innovation, power, and American engineering at its finest. The Chrysler C300's place in history is secured as the car that not only introduced the world to the concept of the American muscle car, but also demonstrated that high performance could be achieved without sacrificing luxury. It remains a cherished classic, celebrated for its role in shaping the future of American performance cars. And there you have it, the 15 rarest American cars of all time. These unique and elusive vehicles represent some of the most innovative and luxurious designs in automotive history. Whether they were limited in production, built for racing, or simply ahead of their time, these cars are now incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Let us know in the comments which one of these rare cars is your favorite, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more automotive history.